Alright, hi, hello there, how are you? My name is Max and I am a programming student from Sweden, and I also happen to do some game development in my spare time. Right now I am working on a collectible card game, which is right now not collectible but just a card game, and it doesn't have a name as of yet. And this is the game that I'm going to try to explain to you my vision for today. So, I got the idea a while back whilst I was still working on another game of mine called Bulletin, which I won't go into today, but let's just say that it was impossible for me to make alone. So when coming up with the idea for this game, I must have been playing either Settlers of Catan or Hearthstone. The idea was basically to combine the best parts of these two games into a single one. For those of you who don't know, Hearthstone is an online card game where you play 1v1 against other players. You play minions and spells on a flat two-sided board, trying to attack the enemy and his minion until the enemy's health total drops down to 0 and you win. Simple enough? Great. Now, let's try Settlers of Catan. So, in Settlers, you build a board. You build a board and you randomly add tiles all over them so that the playing area looks different every time you play the game. Then throughout the game, you, while playing up to 4 people, take turns playing structures and roads, connecting these structures, inhabiting tiles, collecting resources from those tiles, and then repeating that until you have dominance over the board and win. You actually also have these numbers on every tile that you need to get a dice roll corresponding with to actually get that corresponding resource, which makes some resources easier to get than others and some tiles better than others, but that's really not important for my game, so we'll skip that entirely. So, for my unnamed card game, what we would do is we would have a similar board to Settlers of Catan, but instead of playing stuff in the corners of the tiles, you would actually play them in the center of them, so you would only have one structure per tile and only one tile per structure. Pretty self-explanatory, let's move on. I would also allow for the playing of minions, just like in Hearthstone, in combination with these structures that you could see in Settlers. And the structures in my game would have a lot more interesting mechanics, like some being able to be traps and some being able to be turrets, etc, stuff like that. The minions in my game, you would then be able to move across the playing field to either get to a resource you really need or to get to the other side so that you could reduce the enemy's health total to 0. And you would, of course, be able to play spells on this board to be able to get even more control of it, just like in Hearthstone and basically every other collectible card game in existence. And then there would be a lot of other stuff with the mulligan and selecting resources at the start of the game and deck building according to the resources you want to have, yada yada. After coming up with the idea about a year ago, I tried making a prototype. However, since I wasn't great at Unreal to begin with and I had never ever worked with multiplayer before, let's just say it didn't work out. So then a year passes, and loaded with new motivation for this game and a lot more understanding of Unreal, but still very little understanding of multiplayer, I 4 weeks ago took it upon myself to learn the intricacies of multiplayer and try and make a super simple proof of concept, which I kind of have. So 4 weeks later, this is the current state of the game. I have a pretty basic deck builder, peer-to-peer hosting, which is of course a temporary solution, but since it's only the beginning of a prototype, it works great for the purpose it has. And I then have basic multiplayer play, so that you can play the game 1v1 versus your friends, but at the moment we only have minions in the game, no structures or spells. Most recently, I've added the functionality for abilities that you can put on minions, like dealing damage, healing, gaining health, influencing the boards, selecting targets, etc. And I made it easy to use in a kind of card builder using data tables. What I'm looking to do next are passive card effects, like divine shields, taunts, and debuffs like in Hearthstone, and after that add the functionality for structures and spells, which would actually be pretty easy due to the existing functionality that I've built the whole card game on. And after that I'll make sure to do my absolute best to actually update you guys on the progress I'm making. So these two things that I just said, I hope to get done within 2 weeks, and I will see if I can make devlogs every single week to try and update you guys on how far I've come on that. It's not a promise because I'm pretty bad at keeping those kind of promises, but I'll actually do my absolute best, and I've started working on this week's devlog already. So I guess you guys will see if that ever came out. Who knows? But yeah, this is how the game looks so far. It's pretty basic and it's pretty buggy, but it does kind of work. And I will try to flesh and build this out as much as I can over time to build it out to be functioning vertical slice of the game that I could then hopefully turn into a actual game if anyone wanted that. So for now, I'll just have to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you actually understood anything I said in this video. If you did and you liked what I said or liked the concept of the game, I really hope that you give the video a thumbs up or a like or whatever you call it nowadays. If you want to see more of it, I really recommend subscribing, since I try to make weekly devlogs for it. And if you want to discuss the game with me, then make sure to hop in my Discord so that we can discuss the game design and the game and really any other game development stuff you want to talk about. I kind of guess that's all for now, so I hope you have a great week, and I'll try to see you next week. Bye bye.